I used to be in a gaming group, traditional, books, dice and point miniatures, with a guy we'll call Stench, because no matter how many showers he took, he stunk. Anyway, Stench was a serious geek and Catholic, which made his gaming way problematic for him. He was in his 20s, a virgin, living with his parents, completely under their control. He also had several small circles of friends, 99% online, which were absolutely never allowed to intersect. Well, I stopped by one day to borrow a book. He was on the phone with a girl from one of those other groups. She heard me, liked my voice, and browbeat him into giving me the phone. We hit it off, talking frequently, then every night, eventually doing over-the-phone roleplay, not even close to sexual. As things usually happen, she slipped and told Stench what we'd been doing. He lost his shit. She informed me that he had contacted our weekly game master, my then best friend, who approved that anything Stench did was canon, official in our weekly game. This meant that any retribution I chose to inflict was also canon in game. He did this knowing full well what a vindictive, very imaginative, complete son of a bitch I am. Oh, shit. Our DM was a malicious fucker. Stench had cursed the character I was using, one I'd been using for a long time, whom I'd put a lot of work into, with some utterly disgusting and horrific diseases utterly incurable. So, I contacted a very old friend and hired his character that he'd been running since the late 70s, this was 97-ish, to do a hit job. See, Stench would only play a special race of lawful good-winged elves called Avariels. In our campaign universe, he had protected them by having them develop on their own world, which was then deposited into a pocket dimension, which only Avariels could access. The plan played out thus. My hired elven wizard has a spelljammer ship. He uses a time travel spell to go back to the dawn of the Avariel race, before they crawled out of the muck, before their planet was in its pocket dimension. He takes the ship in very close to the system's primary, their sun, and cast a compound spell. Enlarger, Haste, Edge to Destruction, Supernova, on the star, then time travel reversed back to when he'd left. I then called up the lady and told her what I'd done, with a message to pass along to Stench. I wiped out the Avariels so completely, not even their gods are around to mourn their passing. He called me up the next day, screaming and crying, saying he was going to come to my house, kick the door down, and burn it down. I reminded him that he's seen me shoot. I'm ex-army infantry, and that I thought Catholics frowned on suicide. Then I hung up. I called up our DM, told him what I'd done, he was even impressed with my brutality, and verified that it was canon. It was. This deleted not only Stench's characters, but every action they'd ever committed. Let's just say several favourite characters who died due to Stench's blunders came back, among other effects. He was also forbidden to use that race ever again, as they were wiped from existence, and only my character remembered them. And there was no way I was going to wish them back into existence. Stench Rage quit the group and never spoke to any of us ever again. Unfortunately, his buddy in another state, who was supposed to be reloading my rifle ammo, instead sold my brass. So, as revenge for that, I took some gay porn VHS tapes my mum's then BF had salvaged from his job as maintenance at an apartment complex, boxed them up with a bow, drove down to where Stench's buddy lived, and mailed the box to Stench, CEO, his hyper-Catholic parents, with a note that said, "We had a little tiff and broke up, so I thought Stench would want these back." Mailer T4373 commented, "You have no idea. Literally every Gen Con, he had bum a ride with somebody who was carpooling. After the first blazing hot summer drive with him in an enclosed space, where it was too hot to roll down the windows, because AC was cooler, everyone he rode with pooled their money to buy him a handful of the extra long, industrial strength deodorant sticks. Before getting in the car, put it on. Stop for gas and piss, put it on. Every hour was put it on. And he still stunk like a rotten corpse with beer." Talmuska responded, "I've been playing D&D since its inception. First basic, then expert. then advanced, as a DM. I am stunned by the brilliance of your revenge. As a level 55 DM, 55 yo. I salute your revenge. I like to think I am creative in DMD, but the level of spell use, objects, spelljammership, and creativity, wow. Remove the race from the tapestry of time. Koinak commented, the OP was having the friend of his friend Stench basically make bullets for his rifle for shooting. A bullet has several parts to it. The brass is the outside casing that holds everything together. If you are having a bullet reloaded, you are taking the casing or brass from a previously shot bullet and taking all the component parts of a bullet and reloading the casing brass with those parts to make new bullets. Depending on the caliber is determined by the size of the bullet. Reloading can be less expensive than buying new bullets, or if that caliber is hard to find. Reloading can be expensive too, and brass can be hard to come by, depending on the caliber. In a lower comment by OP, he says the bullets he needs are very hard to come by, which makes the brass also hard to find and expensive. An example is a 30-30 caliber rifle which is used for hunting. Those are more likely to use reloaded bullets over a rifle like a 223, which have smaller, cheaper bullets because that caliber is more likely used for target practice with paper targets. You use fewer bullets for hunting, and so the cost is higher per bullet, which makes reloading attractive. For what it's worth, not all Americans know this info. A lot don't, so it's not a typical American thing. But if